Now, I want you to think about Common Core, because we're going to talk about that. Who put that into place? When did that come to fruition? Under which president did we get this piece of garbage? I'm about to read you. The results are in, folks, and it's terrible. It's freaking worse than terrible for Common Core. But who gave us that? Barack, fake birth certificate, Hussein, Obama. Who got this? I thought it was $36 million. Apparently it was $65 million book deal. Barack Obama. From what company? Pearson Publishing, who also had subsidiaries, again, same company basically, subsidiaries, that gave other people book deals. Like I think Nancy Pelosi possibly, was it Biden also? A few people, John McCain, I think. You know, funny, isn't it? So what were they tasked with under Barack Obama? Why did Barack Obama give them approximately $350 million of taxpayer money? Why did he give them that? Well, they were going to work on this new educational thing, this Common Core thing, and then, okay, that's what it was. That's why we said, we were told, there's why we're doing this $350 million nonsense. I want to remind you also, and I'm going to Google this to make sure the numbers are right. Let's see if Google gives me what I need. Total cost of Obamacare website. Because remember, I heard it was upwards of $1 billion. Healthcare.gov Wikipedia. August 2014, the Office of Inspector General released a report finding that the cost of the healthcare.gov website, hope you don't get sick to your stomach, reached 1.7. Let me get my lips wet. I want you to misinterpret the M for the B sound. $1.7 billion for an effing website. I'm just going to ask you a question. Because remember, his college buddy company, whatever, got the contract. I'm just going to ask, do you think it's even slightly possible that they got $1.7 billion so they could distribute those funds, more money laundering, to the Democrat cronies, including Obama, including most likely Nancy Pelosi, Joe Biden, all of the big ones? I'm going to throw that out there, even though this has nothing to do with that. WesternJournal.com. After years of Common Core, Betsy DeVos announces devastating results. Years after Common Core made its debut in many state education systems, the disastrous long-term results of the program are finally being seen. The revelation came as part of the Department of Education's 2019 National Assessment of Education Progress Report. Quote, every American family needs to open the nation's report card this year and think about what it means for their child and for their country's future, Education Secretary Betsy DeVos said in a media release. The results are quote, the results are, frankly, devastating, end quote. And then it quotes again, this country is in a student achievement crisis. And over the past decade, it has continued to worsen, especially for our most vulnerable students, she added. The NAEP is a test administered in alternating years to students in the 4th and 8th grades. The government-mandated assessment covers both math and reading proficiency. The students' reading assessment paints a grim picture of educational readiness with tested 4th and 8th graders failing to best the previous test's results. This year's results were only marginally better than those from 1992. The mathematics scores show the most damning results, an upward trend until the year 2015, when the momentum seemed to grind to a halt. Although there were double-digit gains since the 90s, 4th graders only managed to score a single point above their previous tests. 8th graders failed to meet that low standard, sinking below their predecessors from 2 years before. Quote, this must be America's wake-up call, she said, DeVos. We cannot abide these poor results any longer. We can neither excuse them away nor simply throw more money at the problem. The dip, that was the end quote, the dip doesn't seem to be without cause. either. By 2015, most states had implemented some form of Common Core standards. According to the Association for Supervision of Curriculum Development, studies have linked Common Core to declining test scores and generally poor student performance. This failure in U.S. schools comes at a time when Chinese students, who don't have Obama's Common Core bullcrap shoved down their throat, appear to be blowing American children out of the water. Results from the Program for International Student Assessment, which tests students internationally on their proficiency in math, science, and reading, show that China ranks a full... Do I have to say it? I don't think I have my American flag in here to wave around. China is 21 spots ahead of the United States. I don't know about you, but I want to be with winners. I want my kids to be with winners. And that's why they're not in the rotten, filthy public school system. We homeschool our kids. And thank the Lord, because if loving the Lord's wrong, I don't want to be right. Thank the Lord that I have the financial means. Thank you. And nowadays, thank you, Patreon subscribers. But even with my old job, well, I still work there technically, but when I was full-time, I was able to pull this off and let my wife stay home. She didn't have to work. I say let her, meaning she doesn't have to go and get a job. So we don't have to struggle paying bills. I was able to make ends meet. I had a little bit of YouTube revenue before they hit us with the ugly stick. And my day job, it was a good paying job. I was able to pull it off. I wasn't able to afford this house until a little crypto you might know called Veritasium kicked into high gear from $6 that I paid all over to over 120, and I sold them and got a nice down payment for this house and then just made the payments. I can afford the payments. That was the big thing. So anyways, universe has, nudged me and helped me and given me blessings and whatnot, which I accept gratefully. I have, again, a bunch of Patreon subscribers. I never, ever thought so many would come over. And I thought, man, if I could just get about maybe 300 between a little bit of extra YouTube, I could possibly make that work. It'd be close, but I could make that work. And a whole bunch more than 300 came over. It kind of brought a tear to my eye. Man, and you know something? I'll do these crypto videos and or a post talking about something, and it might be one where I put like a private unlisted video up rather than type this huge thing out to do a video and say something. But I get to go look at the results and how many people viewed it and this and that, the stats. And nowhere near as many people that support me go over there and watch the video, meaning they don't care about the crypto update I just gave because they didn't even go listen to the video, watch the video. Which tells me most of the people that go to my Patreon or are there, that are currently there or whatever, are there to support me. Maybe the bonus thing is crypto. They don't care one way or the other. But some, of course, are there. Well, I don't know about crypto stuff too. That's great. I love everybody one way, either way, one way or the other. So look, I understand people. Well, husband works, the wife works. Hey, honey, I'm tired of the school system. They're teaching LGBTQ stuff in my, training stuff in my school. They're not even. I just saw a video on Twitter about this. You guys aren't even notifying us what you're teaching our kids. We don't want them knowing that. That's our business. That's our stuff to teach them, not for you. No. I'm pulling my kids out. Everyone in this room, they had a big meeting at the school. The only way you're going to be able to fix this is pull your kids out of the school. We've already talked to my wife. She's going to now homeschool my kids. I can't take this anymore. I've got 3 little girls. And I'm like sitting back just going like silently in my head. Just. But you want to know the part that sucks? That sorry son of a gun and myself and others who homeschool, when we look at our taxes, tax assessment for Hillsborough County. Oh, whatever county you live, I live in Hillsborough. Yeah, your taxes for your house and, property taxes, they're going up. 90% of or 80-something%, what is the fee? School, the public school system. It eats up all of your freaking property taxes. The damn school system. Excuse me. I'm not using your crappy system. I shouldn't have to pay. And that guy who's pulling his kids out, they shouldn't have to pay. We're not using it anymore. Shouldn't have to pay. And guess what? The average person, the average couple, family, can't afford to have one of the family members, the husband or wife, to step down. Oh, that's it. I got to get out of my job. I got to raise my kids. I can't allow this anymore. How are you going to pay for that house of yours? How are you going to pay both those car payments? How are you going to pay those credit cards off? How are you going to pay those student loans off? How are you going to pay for that expensive food you bring home, to cook at home or whatever? You can't. Sorry. You got to leave your kids in the school system where we brainwash them with things like Common Core and LGBTQ Fridays and transvestite book reading on the weekends. If you want to bring your children to the transvestite kids, some of them who have sex crimes they've been committed of, that doesn't matter. Their library doesn't seem to care. Come on down. You can't take your kids out. You've got to go work. You're a debt slave. Most of us are debt slaves. 90-something% of us are debt slaves. How in the hell can you fight that? Oh, I'll take my kids out. Oh, I can't take my kids out because then I got to stay home. I got to teach them. And what if you live in one of these stupid liberal states where you can't even really homeschool and they got these silly laws and you can't do this and can't even teach my own kid? Nope. The state must teach your kid. But I don't like what the state's doing. I don't like, the state will teach your kid. Sit back, shut up, go get your vaccines and get your kids vaccinated, I guess, not vaccinated, vaccinated. Pay your taxes. Again, shut up and don't cause any problems. And we'll take real good care of your children. We're going to give you back something unimaginably amazing. Well, at least in the liberal left viewpoint. And that's what we've become here. You can't even pull your kid out. Oh, take him to private school. I got to come up with more money. Oh, that private school's, it's all filled up. Can't take them there. That one's out. I'm not allowed to take them there. That's out of my jurisdiction. I can't move schools. They got you by the biz-alls. And it was designed that way. I'll refer you back to the conversation Nicholas Rockefeller had with a filmmaker named Aaron Russo. A Freedom to Fascism is one of the videos this guy did. Aaron Russo, one of these movies he did. Very interesting movie. You ought to check it out. It's a documentary. But he said, and I don't know if he said it in that documentary, but he definitely said it in an interview to Alex Jones. I saw it. He said, I was friends with Nicholas Rockefeller. Here's pictures of me and him, buddy at the dinner table. That's Nick. That's me. I'm at his house. He's at my house. He gave me some great investment advice, he says. He gave me good investment advice. And one day he's telling me at the dinner table, he says, there's going to be an event. This is before 9/11, 2001. There's going to be an event. And this is Rockefeller telling him that. And out of this event, we're going to go into a bunch of these Middle Eastern countries. And we're going to look for these terrorists that we can't find because they're like in these caves. You're going to see like video and things like troops looking in caves for these guys. We can't find them. And we're never going to be able to leave. We're never going to be able to find these guys. So we just have to stay. He goes, and let me ask you something, Aaron. What do you think, the 60s, women's liberation, what do you think women's lib, what do you think that was about? He says, well, women's rights, give them a right to vote, give them a right to work, give them a right to, the man doesn't have to stay at home. They can go work too. He goes, you idiot. It's so that we could get both the parents out of the house, take the kids and indoctrinate them in our school system. Because before that, many of these women were home with raising their children. Not anymore. We want them in our system so we can indoctrinate the kids. You idiot. As Jack jokingly laughs. And I think it was after that one conversation, he kind of stopped really talking to Nicholas Rockefeller. And he had mentioned something, at one point, and I think it was with the 9/11 thing maybe, or something, one of the things he told him, he said, because 9/11 hadn't happened yet. He said, Aaron says to Nicholas Rockefeller, he says, well, what about the people? And Rockefeller's like, what do you mean the people? Who gives a crap about the people? What do you mean with the people? Take care of yourself, take care of your family, that's all that matters. The people. You should go watch his interview too, be honest with you. Pretty eye-opening stuff. Well, maybe for some of us. Anyways, take care.